Definitely hearing a lot of concern about what's happening in Washington and what that's going to mean and what it's already meaning here in California for individuals, for our universities, for our businesses. And so I think people respect the fact that I came into politics to stand up to Donald Trump. I ran for office for the first time after his election in 2016 and took him on in Congress. So I think there's a lot of concern, including from people in both political parties, Republican or Democrat, about what do his actions mean for California. And we need a governor who's going to be smart and tough, who's going to have the resilience and the strength to figure out how we're going to keep important services and our important values thriving during the Trump presidency, as well as tackling our long-standing homegrown challenges, including, most importantly, housing affordability, which I would say is an area where San Diego and Mayor Gloria, I think, are doing some really impressive things.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, today we're going to be talking about Katie Porter because this woman is a psychopath. She is completely unhinged. And God rest our ever-loving soul if she becomes governor of our state, because I cannot tell you on how much of a reckoning and hell we will be in if this psychopathic woman, this unhinged woman, this woman that has no emotional control becomes California governor. So without further ado, guys, we're going to go and talk about this psychopathic woman, because the only way I can say is psychopath, and completely unhinged, because this is what happened. She apparently rage quits an interview because she has, she's insane.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're thinking.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your...
This woman here is unhinged, and you're going to find out how unhinged she really is. But here's the thing. She's saying she doesn't need the other 40% of the Republican base to win. And she thinks that also that she's not going to be running against another Democrat. Well, here's the thing. California is a very heavy Democratic state. And the fact that you probably won't be running against a Democrat is very nil, if possible. I mean, I don't see to where this is going to end up happening here. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, she just thinks that she's just not going to run against, like, another Republican or it's going to be against a Democrat. Like, she's not even displaying her actual points here. And she's pretty much saying that she hates the Republican base. She doesn't like them. And she doesn't need us to win anything. God forbid if say for instance she does get governor, how does she expect to win the national, to become president? You wouldn't be able to win anything because you need the other half of the country to at least vote for you. And that's not what's going on here. Like, this woman here is insane, and you're going to see as she's just about to lose her mind over this interview. A very softball interview, mind you.
Question.
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview.
This woman here has problems. She obviously has problems. I'm pretty sure I would not be surprised if this woman has some type of psychological or mental health issue because she has she's quitting automatically. And there's a reason why I'm leading up to this, guys. Because once we finish this clip, you'll find out on how she's really a psychopath here, and it's insane. This is not a big hard question. It's like what would you address that what would you address to the other 40% of the Republicans on how you would potentially win them over? And she doesn't even want to answer that because in her mind she doesn't even think of as Republicans or the other 40% as really people, and she doesn't need them. Well, this is just not good.
Nope, not like this. I'm not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't
our
care.
follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you.
Yeah, again, and she's just completely rambling and just it's like I don't have an unhappy experience with you. It's like you're making this an unhappy experience. It's like you can't answer a simple follow-up question, and you don't want to answer multiple follow-up questions. Why? It's not a big deal to answer some of these follow-up questions, and it's going to be fine to get over with. It just goes to show that this woman has problems. I mean, of course, this is not a really good look for her, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean she has huge issues. But when we follow up here, you'll find out.
I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just.
Yeah. And this is something that we have here. But it gets worse, guys. It gets worse. Because this woman here, apparently, Kelly Porter scolded her ex-husband's scalp with potatoes. Yeah, you heard that right. Yeah, it gets worse. The former husband of Representative Katie Porter said the California Democrat frequently abused him verbally and threw toys, books, and other objects at him during their marriage, and even pouring scalding hot mashed potatoes on his head during a fight, according to divorce records. So that's not good, is it? That's unhinged. That is definitely unhinged. And we're going to go over to this as well because we're going to find out more. So it says, in spring of 2006, I made mashed potatoes for dinner. Our oldest child, Luke, was sitting next to me in his high chair as I was getting ready for dinner. Petitioner looked at the potatoes in the ceramic bowl and yelled at me, can't you read the effing instructions? She then took the ceramic bowl of steaming hot potatoes and dumped it on my head, burning my scalp. I am concerned for my safety and the safety of our children. Petitioner's behavior has only gotten more unpredictable and unstable, and the outbursts of abuse and anger have increased. Now she's resorting to making false allegations about me. Sounds typical about what these liberal or far-left women do when they don't get what they want or they want to get something like that. They have to go and do false allegations. Yeah, here. And of course, if you guys don't know, the petitioner is Katie Porter. Come on. So let's not play stupid. This is how unhinged she is. She's also doing this too. This is disgusting. Almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. And then it goes on again on November 29th, 2011, petitioner screamed at our middle child, Paul. That day was the day it was decided that she would have a C-section and deliver our daughter, Elizabeth. Paul was about 5 years old at the time. He was very excited to have a baby sister and was talking to petitioner about it. She became angry and then stood over Paul and screamed at him, "Get out of my face and leave me alone." Yeah, this person sounds like a great person and a great mother. Paul immediately started crying hysterically. Oh, rightfully so. She was towering over him and so angry I thought she was going to hurt him. I rushed in to stop it and he yelled at me, "Why can't you keep them away from me?" Petitioner then struck me in the face. Yeah, this person seems like a very rational and sane human being, right? Like, she is, the son is so happy to see her little his little sister, as any young brother would, and then she yells at him because whatever reason, we don't know why, because she's a psychopath. It goes on to it gets worse here. It says, "I am seeking a temporary restraining order against petitioner for her pattern of abusive and unhealthy behavior. Katie Porter has extreme anger. She has a history of snapping and screaming at me and the children. Katie Porter constantly berates me in front of the children and often uses profanity. She screams and yells constantly. Katie Porter routinely says, 'You effing idiot. You're effing incompetent.' So she would not let me have a cell phone because she said I was too effing dumb to operate it. Katie Porter often throws things in her anger. She has thrown toys, books, and other objects. When she gets angry, she will claw and scratch her arms and then say to me, 'Look at what you made me do.' She regularly says that I am a bad parent in front of her kids." Yeah, but of course, she can't possibly be a bad parent, even though she's screaming at her own son to get away from her while he wants to go see his baby sister, and then she is throwing things and yelling at people in front of the kids. Yeah, because she's not the bad one here. Her pattern of behavior is starting to be adopted by our children. Recently, the children began spitting at me and their food at me, calling me bad daddy. Yes, this is how you cultivate a bad environment in the home. It is my belief Katie Porter attempted to use this incident, perhaps even provoke and instigate this incident, as a way to improve her standing with this court. Perhaps she was concerned I would report her striking me and wanted to make a claim first. Katie Porter and I have three minor children together. Luke Martin Hoffman, age 7, born January 12, 2006. Paul Lawrence Hoffman, age 4, born July 14th, 2008. And Elizabeth Eileen Hoffman, age 1, born November 29, 2011. It has domestic violence. On the April morning of 2013, Katie Porter ran at me and hit me in the arm, causing a large bruise. She waited all day, then called the police and made false allegations that I hit her. The following morning, on April 24th, 2013, I was preparing the kids for the day, helping to get them fed and dressed. Katie Porter and I had an informal visitation schedule, and in accordance with that schedule, the children were to be with me, and Katie Porter was to leave the residence. That morning, Katie Porter refused to leave the residence. I asked her to please leave so that I could have quality time with the children. She refused to leave and slowly moved around the house, taunting me and laughing at me. Katie Porter started brushing her teeth very slowly. Out of frustration, I admit I hit the light switch and a plastic piece cracked. Katie Porter then called her assistant and said, "Come over and pick me and the kids up." When I heard that, I asked Katie Porter who she called and where she was taking the kids. She ignored me and walked into the laundry room. I asked her again and ran at me and hit me in the arm, causing a large bruise. Yeah. So Porter was finishing her work day when she realized she had to go home soon. She was scared that she would have to face Hoffman's agitated state, and she did not want to be grabbed or pushed around again. So a police account in quarters restraining order request. I observed that Porter was visibly upset and crying throughout the interview. She was concerned about her children's safety because of how Hoffman had been acting that morning. Porter said she was not in pain from Hoffman grabbed and pushed her. I took pictures of Porter's hands and left upper arm, but did not see any visible injuries. I advised Porter to check those areas in a couple of days and take pictures if injuries appeared. So, this woman's a psychopath, and it gets worse here, guys. Katie Porter may not be the right for California or sane. So she talks about Trump and what if she got raped and if she had an abortion, et cetera, et cetera. So let's listen to this.
So on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, "Did someone punch you?" Like, water polo is a rough sport. I was like, "Did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened?" And she said, "Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion?" This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter. And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people, and how important it is for Democrats to have strategies, both at the state level and the federal level, to make sure that we can continue to protect people's rights.
This is how insane she is, right? So she has conditioned her daughter that this is what's going to happen, and no, that is not the case. Most doctors will allow abortion at this point in time if it's a grape situation. I even agree with this mantra. If a child, especially if a child is raped and is pregnant, the kid should have all rights to abort the said child. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. So she has conditioned her child to do this. It's causing immense trauma on the children, and it's gotten even worse because apparently she yells at one of her staff members for getting in the shot. So yeah, let's listen to this.
And I never have to go to the gas station.
That's awesome. And $632 is real money. And I know here at UCI, we have a National Fuel Center Research Center, and they're also doing work on how to make electric vehicles affordable, including for low and moderate income people, working moms, single moms like me, people who really could benefit from an extra $632 in their pocket. And it's also not just the individual savings, but it's also the total savings for our economy. So I'm on the oversight committee, you might know, and that is where we did a study recently this fall in September. And what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems. And the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again.
So that is unhinged behavior. This is correlating to a lot of the things that she says she has anger problems in these reports. This is all correlating to this. So Democrats, I don't know what you're going to do, but this woman should be anywhere but near a senator spot, let alone be governor, because she obviously has anger issues. She's completely unhinged, and she's traumatizing her children in every way possible. I don't understand how anybody can vote for this psychopath, because that's what she is a psychopath, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know how we're going to go with this here, but this woman's a psychopath. She needs to be completely removed from being a Senate, God forbid, a governor, because she does not have a good track record of being sane at all. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.